Welcome to the module on thinking about impact. In this module, we're going to be focusing on the impact of computing on your life. In a traditional physical classroom setting, we will be doing this through using a lot of discussions where we get together in small groups and discuss the ideas and then come together as a class as a whole and discuss the ideas. Since this is an online class with people from all around the world, as well as people who are enrolled here at OU, we're going to be using the discussion forums to do this. The rule I want you to remember is that you need to respect each other's ideas on these forums. Everybody needs to engage in the discussions. That's how you're going to actively learn and how you will get involved in this material. Go in and read each other's ideas and listen to them and think about them respectfully and then respond respectfully. The online Janux platform enables you to have discussions in the text itself, and I welcome you and encourage you to do that. But I also want you to engage in the discussion forums that we will be posting. For each reading, there will be a quiz, a video that introduces the ideas for the discussion forums, and then a discussion forum, probably 2 or 3 for each chapter for you to engage in. I want you to remember that if you just do the reading, do the quiz, and then post once to the forums, you're not really engaging. The point is, get in there and get involved in a discussion. This module is different than all of the other modules in this course. This module should be open throughout the entire semester, and you do not need to complete it necessarily in order. If you want to jump ahead to the next modules where you work on different programming concepts while you're also doing the reading, that is fine. But what I do want you to do is read the readings throughout the semester and then engage in those discussions as you are doing the readings. We're going to discuss 3 different chapters of the book, and I would like to encourage you to read the entire book because it's a great introduction to the impact of computing on your entire life. Specifically for this class, we're going to discuss chapters 1, 2, and 4. For chapter 1, we're looking at the explosion, the digital explosion, and we're going to discuss ideas such as what does it mean to have computers everywhere, such as the mobile phones that are embedded in our pockets. How about the ones that are embedded in our cars or in our smart homes? We're going to discuss the impact that computers have had on our lives and how they've revolutionized society. For chapter 2, it's called Naked in the Sunlight, and the focus on chapter 2 is on privacy. We're going to talk a lot about how the advances in computational power have affected our thinking on privacy. What we thought was privacy 50 years ago is very different than what we think of as privacy now. We'll talk about the laws and how they have and have not kept up with the changes in computational power. And we'll talk about what privacy really means to you. How much privacy are you willing to give up in return for security? We will also discuss chapter 4, which is titled Needle in a Haystack, and is really focusing on the power of search. And the question here is, how does the power of search affect you? What kind of power do the search engines like Google have? So you can consider starting a new company and whether or not the search engine brings your company up on the first page. But another question is, what happens if you and I both look for the news at the same time, but we're in different parts of the country or even in different countries? We get completely different views of the news. What impact does that filtering of the results or of the news have on us? The learning objectives for this module are focused on learning about the impact of computing on our lives. So the first learning objective is that we want to be able to connect computing with innovations in other fields. So we will talk about how computing has really revolutionized fields beyond computer science. The second is to look at the beneficial and the harmful effects of computing. And the third is to connect computing within and across economic, social, and cultural boundaries and contexts. Let's get to thinking about impact.